70, and I came all the way to the bus stop that is before the Kranji MRT station. And this small road here, I'm walking right in front of me, and this road will lead me to the Kranji War Memorial and also the Kranji State Cemetery, where all our presidents are buried. Now on my right you can see an open piece of land. Here a lot of grass is planted for sale. Now this road is very quiet in the morning. Beside me there's a small longkang where the water is flowing. So at this time of the day there are not many visitors. It's about 10 AM in the morning. So this place is rather quiet. And as the sun rises higher and higher, the temperature is going up and up. So it's very quiet over here. And all I could hear was the sound of aeroplanes flying overhead, some birds chirping in the branches, and all around me I could see some forests. This road here is about 200 meters long, and right in front of me I can see the whole structure, the entrance to the Kranji War Memorial. Now this is under the jurisdiction of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. So the commission has employed some people to cut the grass, trim the grass, and every year in November there is a service here where all the high-ranking military officers come here to honor the day. You see a plot of land where they plant trees for sale. A lot of trees planted here. These are to be sold and transported elsewhere. Right, the notice here says state land, no dumping, no trespassers, managed by HDB, Singapore Land Authority. So this land belongs to the SLA, and nobody is allowed to build anything here without permission. So I'm coming to the entrance of the Kranji War Memorial, and on my right is the Kranji State Cemetery, where all the important people are buried. Alright, a notice here says no pets allowed in this cemetery. So please do not bring your dogs in case the dogs come here and decide to deposit their feces watering the grass over here. So this place is very well maintained. The grass is cut occasionally to make sure that this place is clean and tidy. Now the first grave that I come to is that of the President, Dr. Benjamin Henry Sheares, 1907 to 1981, President of the Republic of Singapore. So here you can see the marble tombstone, brown in color and black, very beautiful. And here beside I can see the Tecoma capensis, the orange flower. So it's a very beautiful place, a big cemetery here. But unfortunately only out of 8 presidents, only 2 are buried here. I do not know the reasons why. Is it because the spouse of the deceased person is not allowed to be buried here? I'm not very sure. Now in my narration of facts, I normally refer to Wikipedia. So in case I make some factual errors, I'm open to criticism and correction. So okay, so please don't get me wrong. My facts may not be 100% accurate, but I try as best I can to narrate the facts as what I read from Wikipedia. So this is a very big cemetery, but only 2 graves. What happened to the other 6, I do not know. Anyway, President Halimah Yacob is still alive, and in the near or distant future, if she were to pass on, I'm not sure whether she wants to be buried here. Then the other question is, will she be buried here or the Muslim cemetery in Choa Chu Kang? And the other question is, will her husband be allowed to be buried here? So these are questions which I cannot answer. Perhaps someone who is more knowledgeable can help me out or enlighten me. Then next, there's another tomb here. Very interesting place. It says Encik Yusof bin Ishak, 1910 to 1970, appointed Yang di-Pertuan Negara and later the first president of Singapore. So you can see the Singapore crest here. A very beautiful tomb of the first president, Yusof Ishak. Now Yusof Ishak, as you know, is a very patriotic person, a good-hearted person. You can see his portrait on all our dollar notes, the $2, the $10, the $50 bills, all have the photograph of President Yusof bin Ishak. Now he's also a very patriotic person who loves all the races, Chinese, Malays, Indians, and is well loved by most Singaporeans. So this is a very interesting place, a big sprawling cemetery, and in the background I can see the house where the caretakers have their lodging here. These are employed by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, and these workers perhaps stay here, given some quarters to stay so that they can take care of the cemetery over here. So in case my facts are wrong, please feel free to correct me. So this place is very quiet in the morning. It's 10 AM. You can see a lot of flowers, heliconias. And I'm coming to the main entrance of the Kranji War Memorial. This is a very beautiful place. And the large piece of stone here says their name liveth forevermore. So here you can see all the tombstones. Kranji War Cemetery, 1939 to 1945. Right in the distance I could see an obelisk with a star at the top, and also a cross. And some workers are watering the plants, the flowers. A very beautiful place. You can see the state cemetery, very huge. But only two presidents are buried here. Ong Teng Cheong is not here, Wee Kim Wee is not here, Devan Nair is not here. So some of the presidents are missing. So I do not know where they are buried. Some are possibly buried in the Columbarium or some unknown cemetery. So some of the presidents are not here. This is very surprising. Now because of the COVID situation, I had to go to the Commonwealth War Graves office, had my temperature taken, scan the QR code before I was allowed to enter this cemetery. So it's a very beautiful cemetery. You can see all the tombstones, same size, same height, an Australian soldier of the 1939-1945 war. Very interesting. Alright, Private Newman, age 26. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord's. So some of these soldiers died very young, 20 plus. Very sad. They died during the Second World War, fighting for the country, fighting for the Commonwealth. So it's very sad to see these soldiers dying very young, below the age of 30. Right, you can see a beautiful cemetery, plenty of casuarina trees. A very beautiful place. I could see some kingfishers, yellow kingfishers. This is a chrysanthemum. Then the alamander flower over here. The grass is very beautiful, well planted, well trimmed. And this one says DG Marshall, age 37. So you can see a lot of workers here cutting the grass, watering the flowers. Right, I'm walking towards the hilltop. You can see the cross, the round obelisk with a globe and a star at the top. So it's a very beautiful war cemetery maintained by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. Now because of the COVID, there are very few visitors here early in the morning, and I had to go to the office to get permission to enter this place. Right in the distance you can see some factories, the red ceiling wax palm. I continue walking on the hill. And here it says they died for all three men, 1939 to 1945. On the walls of this memorial are recorded the names of 24,000 soldiers and airmen, of many races of those who died. So the names: Jai Singh, Jamal, Din, Jawahir, Karan Singh, Nazir Singh, Hussein Ibrahim Maulud, Abdul Rashid Muhammad, Pia Ismail Mat Ismail, Company OMR Staff Sergeant Hale, Usman Karim Yong Yin Choi, Second Lieutenant Kwan Kim Tang. A lot of names written here. And I can see a number of people doing the cleaning over here. A very beautiful cemetery. Alright, another memorial here. There's a star on both, on the right and on the left. 1939 to 1945, the Indian Grenadiers, Indian Armored Corps, 16th Light Cavalry, non-combatant, Royal Regiment of Indian Artillery, and so on. So it's a very nice and interesting place. A lot of tombstones over here. And there are some very old trees here. Some of these may be more than 100 years old. And behind here is a private housing estate with some very beautiful bungalows. Now these bungalows are just adjacent to the war memorial. So the residents here are very lucky. They have good housing, a lot of peace and solitude. And here the tombstones are arranged in a circular shape. Right in front of me I could see the UT Industrial Estate. So along the Kranji road you can see some new buildings, possibly warehouses or factories. You can see it's a very beautiful place here. The wind is blowing. see rows and rows of tombstones, same size, same height. Assistant steward, died age 38. Cabri fireman, age 25. Fryer, leading seaman, Royal Navy, age 33. So a lot of these sailors died at a very young age during the war. It's very sad to see all this because they died so young. Right, Lieutenant Bancroft, the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, age 23. R.W. Belt, Royal Artillery, age 25. Without farewell, he fell asleep, but forever his memory will we keep. Right, all these very nice tombstones. But as I read the words, I could feel a tinge of sadness because these soldiers died so young. Most of them died below the age of 30. Indian labourers, possibly these are foreign workers. They come here to cut the grass, water the flowers, and keep the tombstones in good shape. So it's a very clean and tidy cemetery, very sanitized. Unlike the Bukit Brown Cemetery where the tombstones are falling apart, here is very well maintained. And you can see all the beautiful tombstone. E.J. Blunt, the Royal Norfolk Regiment, age 23. So it's very sad to see all these soldiers, airmen dying at a very young age. Now this place has a lot of tall trees and they provide very good shade. You can see the entrance is over here. I'm coming towards the entrance. The main gate is closed, so I have to go out by the side gate. Right? They do not want too many visitors at this time of the year because of COVID. You can see the lantana flowers, so beautiful here. So I'm slowly making my way to the side gate to make my exit. So it's a very memorial visit. Now Singapore is so short of land, so I'm not sure what will happen in 50, 100 years time when the population goes to 10, 20 million. There'll be a competition for the limited space, but the needs of the living should outweigh the needs of the dead. So possibly in time to come there may be no more land for burial. So in some countries like Tibet, they leave the corpse on the mountain top, allow the birds to feed on them. Anyway, I've told my children that when I pass on, they can cremate my body and throw the ashes into the sea at Pulau Ubin. Because when I die, my soul will go to heaven, my body goes back to dust. So where it is disposed of is not important. So in the US, they don't cremate the body. What they do is to put the corpse in alkali, allow it to dissolve and then flush it down the sewers. In India, the corpse is burnt and then the ashes thrown into the Ganges river. So different countries, different cultures have different practices, right? We cannot say whether they are right or wrong. They have their own preference. Right? You can see some beautiful flowers, yellow butterflies. Very beautiful place. Alright, it says Commonwealth War Graves Commission, the regional office. So I'm heading to the side gate. I've just made my exit, walking towards the main entrance, going down the slope, and I could see some cars parked in a small car park here. This car park is small, can probably take about 20 to 30 cars. So as you can see, the Kranji War Memorial is very well taken care of. You can see the facade from here. A very beautiful cemetery. It says Kranji War Cemetery 1939 to 1945. So I'm slowly making my way through the entrance here and make my exit. So goodbye to Kranji War Memorial. It's a very memorable visit.